All right, so you're like the jack of all trades with everything that you've done, and you're so young. What do you say to know, I mean, to know how much you've done in such a short amount of time, and so well?
Thank you. No, I've been very lucky. I started young in Norway doing movies, and suddenly that got me here. And I pitched this idea 3 years ago now, something like that, to Gary Sanchez Productions, with Will Ferrell, Anna McKay, those guys. And they really loved it, and they took me to Paramount right after, and we sold it there, and it's just been, it's been fast and strange.
And a lot of people will respectfully say that you have kind of a sick and twisted mind, because if you think about, you know, like the Dead Snow movie, then with Hansel and Gretel, you bring together old and new, and comedy mixed with action and drama. You know, what was the biggest obstacle going into something like that?
Well, it is exactly what you're saying. It's tricky balancing those things, and we talked a lot about that. How far do you go with the comedy? How far do you go with the gore and the action? And especially the comedy, it's always dangerous. If you go too far, it kind of loses impact a little bit. It makes it more like a joke and a parody. So we tried hard to just the right amount of jokes and the right amount of gore, and hopefully we got a good combination.
And there's a lot that goes into the creative process behind things like this. Do you enjoy acting or writing, or does it kind of change from day to day on what your most favorite part is?
Yeah, I do love most of it. I do, and you know, directing this thing was a blast for me, because I've done movies in Norway before. We have very limited resources, and it's hard shooting a movie in Norway, really hard. And for me to have the feel of the backing of a studio and get a lot of resources and just everything I thought about when it comes to witches and trolls and sets, I could do it. So that was new to me and really fun, and just to play around in this world.
And I have to ask really fast how the movie ended. Was awesome. But you kind of left it open where there could be something again in the future. Is that something that you would be open to discussing?
Yeah, I would. If people like it, you know, who knows what people will say. But I think there's more fun to be had if we get the chance.
I have an idea, so let me know.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I love the movie, and I love your character.
Oh, thank you.
But I have to say, I noticed within like the first 5 minutes of seeing you, I was like, holy crap, that makeup process must have been hell.
It was.
Well,
I'm glad you saw that.
Yeah, because I mean, you looked beautiful, and then it was just a total change with the makeup, and I bet that took hours.
It did.
How long did that take?
About 3 hours. It took 4 in the beginning. They got it down, and they cut it down in some time. And then it took about an hour at the end of the night to take it off again.
Oh my gosh. So it's like you're sitting, preparing, getting ready, then you have to go to work, and then you know that you have to get it all torn off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Now, one thing that obviously you can notice right off the bat meeting you is that you're tall. You have very large feet, which is beautiful. Does that usually help you in getting roles, or does that really
feet?
just being a tall person?
No. I mean, most actors are not that tall.
Right. That's what.
I've had many calls before auditions in the past where they said flats, wear flats, wear flats.
Yeah.
So no, but you know, I'm in good company. Nicole Kidman's very tall, and Uma Thurman's tall. So there've been a lot of taller actresses over the years. But men, you know, I mean, thankfully I've worked with some of the tall men like Liam Neeson. And, you know, a whole bunch of. There's not many, but I've worked with some of them, so that's good.
I've noticed with a lot of your roles that you've played before that, you know, the projects that you've done they have very rabid fan bases, like X-Men and your recurring role on Nip Tuck and stuff like that. So you have. For those projects, there's a lot of, I don't want to say crazy, I want to say enthusiastic fans that might not be able to tell the difference between who you are on screen and who you are in real life, that there's a total, do you have any crazy stories from?
You know, surprisingly little, really, because I live in New York. I walk down the street a lot, and I'm left alone. Maybe I look very different in person than I do on screen. I have no idea what it is. A lot of people don't put together that the same person in Taken is this, you know, is the person who's in X-Men, who's the person who's in GoldenEye, who's the person in something else. So I mostly really get left alone. It's great.
On a personal level, I heard that you have a hobby that you make outfits for animals. Is that true?
For my own dog.
For your dog?
I do.
What kind of outfits do you make?
Well, they're kind of skater inspired, so they're hoodies with those little strings hanging out, and you know,
so you have like
the
a little
hood and
hipster
4
dog.
legs, and I have a hipster dog. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, he's now a hipster grandpa.
Oh, really?
He's 12 years old, so he's a senior citizen.
He's got his little knit cap
But
on
he
for
still
sure.
is, hip.
That's great to hear. Well, I think you did fantastic in the movie.
Thank you very much.
I
Appreciate it.
really enjoyed it, and I look forward to your many projects in the future.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So the movie we saw last night, awesome.
What'd you see?
This
if he was out.
weird fairy tale thing. It's like 50. It's like the
so-
sequel type. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of it.
Okay, good.
So, I have to say,
I saw Django Unchained.
the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, I have to say, just watching you guys, it made me tired just watching it. Did you guys do anything to prepare physically for it? Because you guys were all over the place.
I did. Jeremy didn't, because he's like naturally able to do all that stuff. But I had to do this like boot camp kind of fight training thing, which was cool and intense.
So you got to beat people up?
Yeah, basically, it was
fun.
cool.
Well, I did want to ask you because throughout your career, we saw you first as, with Daniel Craig, and you've done so many different things, like both ends of the spectrum. What drew you into this movie? What was it about this movie?
It was a brother and sister thing. It's really unusual to see the heroes being brother and sister, and all of the complexities that come with that relationship, and that was the main thing. And working with Jeremy, and yeah, that was it.
Did you guys know each other beforehand, or did you meet on set?
Yeah, we met on set, really. We spoke on the phone several times and emailed and sent her pictures.
Naked pictures.
What kind of
Yeah,
pictures?
of my feet. No, man. And just like we just communicated quite a bit about kind of what we wanted to do. And
Now, do films like this almost for you come second nature because of all the stuff that you've done in the past?
No, I think that's when you get lazy and complacent. Just when you get injured. So, I mean, every day is a challenge in its own right. And again, it's the simplest things. Running through a forest and not really proper shoes. It's easy to get in a tumble and, snap an ankle real quick. So.
One thing that I find unique about you is that there's a lot of actors that they have the roles that they play and they have the people that they are in real life. And some people have a hard time seeing the line that that's my role and that's who I am.
Right.
And real person. And you've always played, or a lot of times you've played roles where you're the person that we like. You're the person that we want to succeed. You're the hero almost. And you're almost the same way in real life being a Goodwill ambassador, right? Do you do that?
Sure.
Yeah.
I do what I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. And you build houses? I hear you build houses?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
He just is so perfect.
It's just so perfect. Now, how the movie ended, it almost left it open
jerk.
to maybe see something in the future. Do you guys see anything happening?
See what?
See like a sequel or something like that? Do you see the possibility? for
Hey
that?
man, do you have a crystal ball? I don't. No, we put a lot of hard work into this one, and we're doing our best to get it out there, and hope people see it and really enjoy it, come out with a big smile on their face, and
Awesome.
that's what we're concerned about
I
now.
loved it.